All right, good morning. It would help if I turn the mic on. All right, so welcome to our game recaps from December 5th, today being the 6th. Well, yesterday really wasn't what I expected. In my picks and previews feature, I talked about the 1 versus 2 matchups, how interesting they were going to be, and then they end up both being blowouts. Very surprising. But nonetheless, we have a lot of good action to talk about, so let's get right into it. So the first game of the night was the Binghamton Black Bears hosting the Port Huron Prowlers. The Prowlers had quite a week. Of course, last week they went out to Topeka to play a grueling 3-3. Under normal conditions, that's difficult. And then almost the entire team ended up getting sick with the stomach flu. Then their bus breaks down. They had a chance to have one brief practice on Wednesday, I believe it was, and then make the trip from Topeka to Binghamton. That's a long way. So yeah, a rough schedule right now for the Prowlers. And you could see it had just been a tough week in the first period. Port Huron. The funny stat of the game to me was that the shots on goal were 18-14 in the first period in favor of Binghamton. Port Huron gets 14 shots on goal, and my thought was, at the end of the period, 14 shots on goal, really? They just weren't moving their feet. They got off to a very sluggish start, and finally got going a little bit in the second, but by then the damage was already done. It was already 3-0. But anyway, Gavin Yates, 4 goals on the night. He gets the opening goal, the third goal, and then he scored in the second and in the third as well. So quite a night for Gavin Yates. And then CJ Stubbs, just named Player of the Month. He ends up with 2 goals and an assist. The lopsidedness of this game was a little deceiving in that as the game went on, the Prowlers played better. They played more according to their usual style. They started showing some grit and some activity. But again, it was just too late by that time. So Dominic Tame, 30 of 31. There was a change in goal by the Prowlers after the 5th goal. The hat trick scored by Yates. Cooper came out and Huber went in. And according to Coach Chris Pollan, it wasn't really that Cooper played terribly. Is just this was the game was out of hand. This is a chance to get Huber some minutes, so that's why they made the change. Luke James did score in the game, but anyway, 9-1, and it's tough. Again, I understand the Prowlers are in a very tough time right now. But nonetheless, Binghamton just running away the division right now. It's 16-2, and then the Prowlers are the next closer team, and they're 11-8. So, all right, we go to the Bobcats and the Hat Tricks, a couple of teams that are right in the middle. Am I wondering before the game was, does either team have a clear edge? Well, yeah, Danbury did have that edge yesterday. Now, the Bobcats got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then they kept going. They got going. Got a lot of shots on goal. Sebastian Resar saw a lot of pucks, but stopped most of them. In the meantime, Anthony Schrum did not have his best game. So he gets changed out. Hunter Verostek came in right after Alexander Lakov had scored 30 seconds into the third period. At that point, that made it 5-2. 5-2. And so in come Verostek. But so Schrum stopped 21 of 26 in 40-30. We traded power play goals in the first period. It was Danny Martin and Johnny Ruiz. How fitting, both captains end up getting power play goal. And then from there on, it was all off. Yes, all three hat tricks players. You got Frolov and Legkov and Rubtsov scored a goal and an assist on the night. A very balanced attack by Danbury throughout the game. Once we got into the second, shots were 18-9 in the second period in favor of the Bobcats, but the hat tricks cashed in on 3 of those 9 shots. So there you go. And Caden Kanderka, he also scored in that second frame as well. So, it was a very good second period, and that seemed to give Danbury enough to end up with the victory. 6-3, not a whole lot to talk about here. There was a lot of offense, a lot of skating, a lot of shots on goal. Nothing really standing out with this game, though. But the end result is very interesting. We have a little bit of a shake-up in the Empire Division standings, as with the win, Danbury vaults themselves in the 4th place, and Blue Ridge falls to 5th. Very, very close. They're just 2 points apart. But it's getting tight in the middle of the pack in the Empire Division. 8-8 for the Bobcats, 8-2 for the hat tricks. All right. Excuse me. Sentinels traveled up to Watertown for the second time, and not the quality of game that we've become accustomed to with Indiana. And what I mean by that is that, the record is terrible, but they've been playing it very competitively as of late. And even in the first period, we did see that. Indiana really playing well. It was 1-0 Watertown at the end of 1, but Indiana was playing very well. The one goal, fantastic look-off goal by Sebastian Klinck. Klinck head fakes the pass and ends up getting his first goal. He'd end up with a hat trick. Very, very good game. This is the Stephen Klinck that we saw a couple of years ago when he was with the Elmira River Dragons. And I was kind of waiting for this guy to show up. He did last night with 3 goals. In the meantime, Indiana just became a little bit slow, made some poor decisions with turnovers or giving the puck over. And Watertown just kind of took control of the game, scoring 4 times in that second period. Ify Michigan also had a goal and assist. Played very, very well. So really 2 guys kind of led the way for Watertown. In the course of this game, Brendan Colgan, starting goalie, also gets an assist. Gets a secondary assist. So, great game for Colgan. Werber started the game, gave up the 3 goals on 19 shots. It was, when he gave up the Michigan goal, Sharmo came in to replace Werber. And, a couple more times that the Wolves got on the board. So Sharma was 17 of 19 in the save department. Colgan gets the win. It's the Watertown Wolves now 6-8-2, trying not to fall too far back behind the rest of the pack. The Bobcats and the Hat Tricks and the Prowlers and Topeka. Indiana 1-14-2. Again, this just wasn't the quality of game that we've seen from them as of late. They just had an off night, but the Wolves take advantage of it. A fantastic performance by Stephen Klinck, not just with scoring 3 goals, but he had a pep in his step last night. Great on the forecheck and everything. He had quite a night. All right, here we go with Monroe and Baton Rouge. Took a long time for Monroe to really get going in this game. Baton Rouge, first period, they dominated the first period. So yeah, Scott Chirac scored. Shots are only 7-6, but let me tell you, Nolan Egbert, who got his first start of the year for Monroe, he really had to work for those 6 saves that he made. And on the other end, the limited opportunities that Monroe had, Connor Green, fantastic. Both goalies played better than the score indicates. That's how good they were. Green, unfortunately, just ended up, facing a barrage of shots late in the game, and it kind of caught up with him. Not him personally, but with the Zydeco in general. But Green was spectacular. Probably the best goalie performance of the night, and Egbert won. And you had someone else almost get a shutout. But Green, incredible. And this is what the Zydeco were hoping to see, or to discover when they signed Green. All right, so Chirac scores in the first period. In the second period, Carlos Fernandez evens things up. Later on in the second, Tyler Larwood gets a power play goal. It's 2-1 in favor of Baton Rouge going into the third period. Shots at that point, 22-19 in favor of Monroe. So nothing crazy. But in the third period, Monroe just poured on the heat. And so we had a great goal by Casey Gerstein. It was just a bullet of a shot. I don't know if Green saw it or not, but it was fantastic. And then late in the game, Carlos Fernandez ends up with an empty netter to make it 4-2. Kyler Matthews, 3 assists on the night. So good on him. Egbert saves 28. Again, it was good. Having seen him so many times in Binghamton, it was good to see him out on the ice again and looking good. So I know that letting go of 2 goaltenders this last week kind of hurt for Mocs fans, but I think you'll be very happy in Kuhn and Egbert working together. All right, so Monroe, they get themselves into second place. Back in the second place, 10-4-1. Zydeco still struggling, 2-9-2. The quality of play was better last night overall, but they've still got work to do. All right, Twin City, a little bit of a surprise, comes out with the win on the road. It's their first road win of the year. 5-4, they hang on. They were firmly in control of this game. It was 4-1 at one point by Twin City, and Port Huron. Oh my goodness, no. PD ends up fighting themselves back into the game. But yes, so Dyson Skinner really had to step up his game, and he did. Saves 45. That's why he has spent so much time in the SP. Matt Sales, kind of rough for him. Yeah, so Jacob Schnapp, he ends up getting that 5th goal for Twin City at 16:42 in the third, and that made it 5-3 at that point. We did have one other goal late in the game, so PD kind of got back into it. But yeah, the shots crazy, 49-21 in the second period alone, 20-6, then 17-5 in those in the third period. Only 10 shots on goal for Twin City in the first period, but 3 of them went in. And that was the difference maker right there. We had Josh LaBelle with 3 assists. You had Don Carter Jr. had 2 goals. Carter Ford. Yeah, well, it says that, Carter and then Ford. But anyway, Gus Ford. I need more coffee. Gus Ford scores 2 goals, and Zach White had a couple of assists for PD. Houston Wilson, fantastic game, 2 goals and an assist, but it was all for naught. Dominic Marcinkiewicz with a couple of assists. Trevor Lord a goal and assist. But yeah, Twin City 5-10-0. And PD, I'm not sure what's going on, but they're just not finding wins right now. They're not playing poorly. It's just not coming together. They're 7-7-1 right now. They've lost their last 3. So we'll see if they can turn the tables tonight as the 2 teams switch venues and head down to Winston-Salem. Here's our other blowout of the night, and I was a bit shocked. Not necessarily shocked that Athens won, but I was just shocked at, I mean, my goodness, 8-1. Okay, first of all, you have Van Durken getting a hat trick for the Rock Lobsters. You have William Lavalier, great performance, stopping everything but one, and this was heartbreaking. I do feel for Lavalier. He loses his shutout with 4 seconds left, just 4. Yeah, it's Alex Sturgeon scoring at 19:56 of the third period to take away the shutout. What are you going to do? Tyler Roy, I was a little surprised that Coach Bichard left him in as long as he did. 32-40 on the night. So Garrett Milan ends up with that game-winning goal at 17:59 of the first in his 500th pro game. That includes the ECHL, the SPHL, and the Fed. But yeah, I mean, the game was in terms of shots pretty even, but my goodness, I mean, it was 2-0, then it was 6-0 at the end of 2, and then it was 8-0, and they thought they had the shutout, and Sturgeon, bad man. All right, okay, seriously, but very good night for a lot of players. Van Durken with a hat trick. You had a goal and 2 assists by Jesse Lowell. His game has really just taken off ever since about the time that Athens went to Binghamton. Lowell had a very good game, and a game that when I was there, it was very decidedly in Binghamton's favor. But Lowell was playing a great game, and it seems like ever since that point, his play has been phenomenal. Garrett Milan, a goal and 2 assists as well as Luke Croucher. So there you go. Yeah, Athens now 13-2, Columbus 11-5, and yeah, they got leapfrogged by Monroe. So now in the standings, it's Athens, Monroe 5 points behind, and then Columbus. So, final game of the night. Yeah, Biloxi travels out to Topeka, and look out, Topeka is on a roll. They are, let's see, I got to check the standings. I think this is their 5th win in a row, and I have to check. And 4 or 5 of those, you had Daniil Brizgalov in goal. And you got to understand how I'm saying this. This was probably Brizgalov's worst game that I've seen him this year. And when I say worse, he still ends up, it's 26 saves and ends up with a win. He wasn't as dialed in, I don't think, as he was in previous games, but he still played very well and ends up getting the win. Josh Rosenzweig takes another tough loss. It was weird. You had 2 goals by Jacob Gagnon first. Then you had Tyler Inlow scoring twice. In between his 2 goals, you had Aldiar Nerland scoring 2 goals. So it was like 6 goals, and they were scored by 3 goal scorers. But yeah, it was just too much Topeka. They actually got a lot of shots on goal. They're not typically known for getting a lot of shots on goal. They're usually under 30 in a game. They got 38 last night. So yeah, game-winning goal scored by Tyler Inlow. His second goal, 9:46 of the third period. So yeah, Biloxi just I can't really put my finger on anything, any one thing that just went wrong last night. Is just, mind you, I didn't see a large part of the game. I did check in quite often, but what I saw, thought they were playing well. It just, things didn't turn out well for them on the scoreboard. Topeka, 10-4. They're in third place now. They're not that far behind the Prowlers. I believe it's 5 points now. Again, I have to check the standings. Haven't looked at the standings yet. Prowlers, they're in an extremely tough part of their schedule, and Topeka's taken advantage of it. They took 2 of 3 against Prowlers last week, and then they take last night's game. So interesting. Robbie Nichols, he has the team playing well. All right, so there we go. That is our wrap up for our Saturday. We'll have more on Sunday. As I'm finishing recording here, I have not yet chosen a thumbnail. I know what I'm looking for. I haven't found it yet, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, 7 games again tonight. It's these same teams. You do have a change in venue, though, with tonight's game being in Monroe. And these 2 teams are close, so that's not bad. And then, again, Twin City and PD. It'll be in Twin City today. Again, not terribly far. It's 160 miles, I think. So, not bad. All right, so there you go. There is our wrap-up for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again to all the new subscribers. We have crossed the 4,800 mark for followers between YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much. If you're not already, make sure you're following me on Facebook as news comes through the line. That's where I print it, and then here on YouTube we talk about it. All right. Also, make sure you can follow me on my WordPress page as well, because I do put out the articles on a regular basis, stars and standings, picks and previews. Every other week, power rankings. There won't be a power ranking this upcoming Tuesday. It'll be the next Tuesday. Keep a watch for that. All right. Again, thank you for tuning in, for all your support, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.